Hey everybody, it is Elliot here with another live stream. We are flying in X-Plane again today in the ZIBO 737-800 mod. I'm going to be doing a really quick flight today from the middle of Minnesota, a place called Brainerd, all the way down to the Twin Cities Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport. So I'm expecting it to be a pretty short flight. I just wanted to hop on and make a quick video before the weekend is over, and hopefully you guys all enjoy it. So we are in a very cold and dark airport and airplane here, so we need to go ahead and get some things started up, and as part of that I'm gonna cheat and use my flashlight, which I believe is something I can do here somewhere. There's an option for it, I know. I'm just trying to remember what the shortcut is. Maybe not. How about some night vision goggles? There we go. Now we can actually see what we're doing. I'm not sure Delta give night vision goggles to their pilots, but this is what it would be like if they did. So we'll go ahead and get some power going. So let's go and connect our battery, and we can go ahead and also hook up our ground power here. We'll change that to battery and ground power. Get some lights going here. And then I'm just gonna do a couple more things. Let's actually get our dome light on. It's probably gonna blind us here. Let's see if we have better lighting now. Still no lights. I think I need to turn some of these guys up. Have a little more light than we do though. If we go up here, what if we... Nada. Apparently no lights. That's a bummer. Might be because... well, I don't actually know why. But we could get some of these lights up, at least so we can kind of see what we're doing here. Our panel lights all the way up there, and let's see what else we would want to do. No, what the point of this dome light is if you can't actually use it. It's kind of unfortunate. Got all my panel lights, yeah. Alright, well, we'll just kind of leave that as is for now. Let's go ahead and get our IRS started. And we can put status on it there. And I would really like this to be a brighter aircraft than it is. We might have to take a look here and see if we can sort something out. We got that light, it's just not giving us any real lighting effects. I wonder why that is. Let's take a look and see. Let's see. If in doubt, Google. That's what I've found. Let's see, it might be to do with my settings here. You guys are getting a look of the kind of... oh, there we go. I think we might need HDR. Let's see if that's any better. Let's see if it kills our frame rate. That's the other thing that could happen in this situation. But we're going to need a little bit more light than what we're currently getting from the aircraft. It's definitely loading. But our flight time today, again, should be a pretty quick flight. I'm actually just pulling up my flight plan while I wait for things to load. Ah, there we go. Now we have light. Let there be light. Fantastic. So there you go. You have to have your... apparently have your HDR lighting effects in order to get any kind of effects. But that's fine. We learned. Hope you guys learned something too. If you're struggling trying to figure out how to turn the lights on in your ZIBO mod, you need to put your settings up, apparently. Alright, so let's keep going through some of these checks, get our exit lights turned on. We will go ahead and put our window heat on, because I can already see it's fogged up. It is a chilly minus 13 Celsius here in Brainerd. I am flying this in real time and in real weather, so this is the weather I am currently living here in Minnesota. but it's fine. It's good when the summer comes. And let's see, we need our trim air on, so we can go and do that. Let's go ahead and get our airport reference position in here as well. So we will go and we are at Kilo Bravo Romeo Delta. And we'll go ahead and put in our GPS position to help set that up. Cool. Okay, so we'll leave that for now. Just go through a few more checks. So our isolation valve is open, our recirc fans are good. Let's put our packs on to keep the plane a little bit warmer. And let's see what else we need to do. Cruise and landing altitudes we want to set. So I believe, let's just pull up our flight plan here because we're going to need that in a moment anyway. And we'll go back in there. Oops. I think we're going up to 19,000 if I recall. Oh, 15,000. Alright, so a pretty short climb today, / no climb. And that then means we're going to be landing in Minneapolis, and I believe the field elevation in Minneapolis is 842 feet. So let's go ahead and put that in at 850. Alright, awesome. So we've got our cruise and landing altitudes. We can put our seatbelt sign to auto, and we can also make sure we load our fuel. So let's make sure we do that. So looking here, we have a block fuel required of 5.2, and we have a weight of, let's see what our weight is on the next page. Page after that. There we go, 5.2 and a payload of 17.3. So 17.3 and 5.2. We can go ahead and get our fuel truck. Let's get our flight leg going. See if our doors, so while our doors are closed, we should probably open our forward entry door and our cargo door so people can actually get on the aircraft. Let's see if we can see that. There you go. The jet bridge is nowhere near, but we'll just pretend that it is in reality. Cool, so let's go ahead and get our route started. I'm going to try and be trendy here and put my tablet near. No, this might not work. I kind of wanted to put it near where the FMC is, but I guess I can't do that. So we're going to have to cheat. That's fine. Whatever. There's a way to do that. But I've been struggling enough as it is to even get lights in here, so let's just dock that for now and not worry about it. So it's a pretty simple route. I can actually show you if we go to our last page of the flight plan here. If we can find it, there we go. Just go all the way down. There's a nice little map that they give you to show you where you're going, in case you're wondering. So you can see this is kind of the northern part of Minnesota, and then Brainerd is sort of, I'd say, halfway up the state, maybe 2/3, and then we're just basically just going to fly straight southeast all the way into Minneapolis, and luckily the winds are favoring a landing on the runways that point towards the southeast, so that will be a relatively quick flight and help us avoid any unnecessary flying, if such a thing were to exist. I love flying, so let's see. Alright, so we're going to be doing a flight, and let's see where our flight route is. I think it's on page 2 that they hide that, or maybe 3. Where are we going? Come on. Come on. I'm looking for the page that has our flight plan. It's 15,000. There's our, maybe it's on page 2. It's kind of hard to see everything on this little screen. There we go. Alright, so we're doing direct to Schulz and then the Bainey 3 arrival. So a really short flight plan. So let's see if we can remember all that for our FMC here. So we can go ahead, and I know we aren't going to fly any kind of departure out of here because I don't think they have any. Runway 23. And then it's going to be Schulz, so SH SHULZ. And then, oops, did I spell that wrong? Probably. Let's see. SHULZ. Oh, it would help if I put it in the right spot. The left is where you'd write an airway, but we're flying direct. So, shoals, and then we will go ahead and do an arrival onto the 12 left ILS and the Bainey 3 from. So there it is, shoals, sweet. All right, so that is our route, nice and easy. We'll put our gross weight in. Let's check our fuel and fuel reserves. It's going to be our alternate is Des Moines, which is in Iowa, and it looks like they would have us fly an extra 3, so I'll round that up to 3.1. Oops, 3.1. Cost index is going to be 17. And we're doing 150 for the altitude. I'm not going to worry about cruise winds, deviations, all that stuff, because it's just such a quick flight, and I just can't be bothered. So we've got an outside air temperature of -12, which is very chilly. And the good thing about that is we should have some pretty good climb performance. The runway here, runway 23, I don't think I have an airport diagram that I can show you, but what I can do is just check the runway length. I really do need to get some better stuff for kind of looking at runway performance and all that good stuff. I do know runway 23 is a shorter runway, so it's 6,500 feet, which is pretty short. So I think we're just going to play it safe and go with a full 26K takeoff and hope that it's enough to get us off the ground. Obviously you would normally do a proper flow to kind of check that if you were flying the real aircraft. Let's go ahead and just put our trim in, 4.73. 145 is going to be our V speed for the climb out today. So we'll put that in. And looks like runway heading for 23 is, let's see, 231. So I'm just going to have us climb runway heading until we would turn for Brainerd. And then we'll just go ahead and put our takeoff altitude in there. What we can do is see if there's some weather here, some ATIS. Looks like you can see if that happens. 126.775. Let's see if that works. This is 775, 126. Sweet.
Brainerd Lakes RGNL weather. Wind 190 at 5, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 1600 overcast, temperature -11, dew point -17. Altimeter 2997.
Alright, pretty simple ATIS there, but that will give us the information that we need for our flight. So I think that is about all we need to do. So we have our route in here, we've got our takeoff done, we've got our runway information set. We can execute our performance page there, and I think we'll be good to go. So we can just kind of take a quick look at our legs here as well, and let's just go to our plan. So we're going to take off and head towards Shoals. It's going to be, looks like, let's see, step through here. So Bainey, Lucy, Sauger, Ogilvy, Kaikui, and then we're on the ILS, so Mammal, Washi, and 1-2 left. And we've got our missed approach in there too. That looks good to me. Let's go ahead and put our terrain and our airport on there. So I think we are getting pretty close to pushing back here. We've got our fuel loaded, which is good. We could go ahead and set our altimeter. We've done that. We've got our APU that we need to start up, so let's go ahead and do that. So we'll put our aft fuel pump on and get some fuel in there. We will wait for that to start up. While we're waiting, let's get our flight directors turned on. And we can make sure after our auto throttle is off, we've got our speed selected, we've got our heading selected, got our altitude selected. We could go and reset our fuel flow. Then we would need to set our minimums. So it looks like the elevation here at Brainerd is, let's see, Brainerd field elevation 1232. So I will set a radio elevation of 1,000 above, so 2232. Whoops. I think I'm doing that right. I do need to check if you're meant to kind of estimate that or not, but I don't know. I think that's what you're meant to do. As you can tell, I'm not an expert when it comes to the ZIBO mod. This is all kind of secondhand knowledge, but it's still kind of a fun plane to fly, so I've been enjoying it. Let's go and put our logo and our wheel well lights on. That should help. And then I think our APU is going, so we can switch to the APU bus, put our APU bleed on, get our yaw damper turned on, and I think hopefully our passengers are just about boarded. Let's go ahead and put our strobe light to steady, and I'll put our collision light on. That should help people actually board. I can hear the door closing behind us. Make sure we close our doors. They are all locked. That is good.
Prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and all calls.
Yeah, we can go ahead and close our boarding door. All right. So we should be just about ready to go with our pushback. So again, I could not find a good taxi diagram for the Brainerd Airport. So I know we're heading to runway 23. And if I look at, I've actually got ForeFlight up on my phone here, and ForeFlight has some good maps for some of these smaller airports that kind of give you an idea of where you're going. So I think we're at the terminal. There's going to be a taxiway we're going to take out towards runway 23. We'll have to just kind of work our way around. But if we go to our ground services, we can go ahead and get our pushback sorted out. So I think we got one runway here. That's runway 30, and I don't even see that on my map, so that's encouraging. Let's see what's all the way down here. I think it's quite a long taxi, so I think 23 is, yeah, down at the end. So we're going to be doing this kind of long taxi in the dark, and that would mean probably facing this way is going to be our best bet. So I'll go ahead and put that in.
All right, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
We've got the happy pushback guy. I like this guy. So we'll request pushback.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Right. Let's put our taxi light on. Put our turn-off lights on. That helped light us up. Look at that. Awesome. All right. Oh, and look at, check out that. Do you see that? That APU effect is super cool. Love it. Alright, so we have time for a quick kind of flow check. So we'll put all of our fuel pumps on because we're going to need them. And I can put this on APU generator and make sure we're on the right bus. We are. Lights look good. We've got our lights on here. We'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign on. Got our window heat on. We'll wait to do our probe heat until we start up.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
All right, he's going to go ahead and lift us up, put our electric pumps on, and we'll be ready to start right after he comes and pushes up. We'll turn our packs off in anticipation of that. And you can also actually arm your auto throttle before the engines start. So being lifted up here, and he's bringing us to turn our parking brake off. So we will expect that. Where is he at? There he is. He's just lifting us up now.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go. Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
This guy is way too excited to be working in minus 12 degrees Celsius. But good for him, I guess. So a pretty cold night here in Minnesota, although it is not snowing, so that is a good thing. There's no real icing concern other than when we go up into any clouds. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye out for that, especially with it being dark. It can be a little tricky sometimes to know that. So he technically didn't give us the ability to start. I'm going to try it anyway. Didn't hear him say you're good to start. He was too excited. So we will wait for that. And there's 25% coming. There it goes. See, these lighting effects look super good at night. I'm glad I bumped up our effects there to take the HDR settings so that we can actually see what we're doing. Definitely worth it. Alright, so one engine started. Let's go ahead and get the other one going. This is going to time nicely with our pushback. Put some fuel in there.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Alright, parking brake coming on.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Alright, so let's go ahead and switch to that bus. And put isolation valve auto. We can take our APU bleed off, turn off our APU. We will also disconnect, change this to Gen 01, and packs are coming back on into auto, and our isolation valve is auto. That all should be good. So I think we are about ready for taxi. Let's go and put our flaps to 5 while we're waiting. Now we got all our lights on.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Yeah, we have a master caution. Let's play the game. Where's Elliot's master caution? Can anyone see? It's the pro beep. Here we go. Recall. Good. Alright, so he is on his way out. Let's see if he gets out and shows us that pin. There it is. We can go ahead and let's just do a config check. That's because of our parking brake. We can turn off. Or should be because of our parking brake. Let's see. Yeah, cool. So we will just go ahead and taxi down Alpha, and I think that's all we got to do is taxi all the way to runway 23. So hope everyone's good. It's been a cold weekend here in Minnesota, but I'm excited to be doing a little bit more flying. Definitely getting into the X-plane world. It's fun. So you see kind of a pretty standard night here, I guess, in Brainerd. Not sure what it's normally like. Probably cold. It's pretty flat. Kind of see some clouds up there. Going a little fast on the taxiway there. Let's go and kill the engines. There we go. So we should at some point cross runway 1634. I'm guessing it's going to be up where these lights are in front of us in a little bit. Having a hard time staying straight on the center line. Come on, there we go. Of course, taxiing around at 30 knots is probably a little on the fast side. It's probably got something to do with it. So I think this should be 1634. It is. We'll do a quick check. Doesn't look like anyone's coming in either direction. Put our transponder in out on. Crossing over runway 34 there. And then the next thing we should see is runway 23 on our left. Which I think I see up here. So we can think about our before takeoff checks. Engine start switches can go to continuous. We can set our auto brake to RTO. We will turn off our turn-off lights, put our landing light on, and try and go around the corner here. And our position light can also flip to strobe steady. Alright, and I'm just going to keep taxiing here. Put our TCAS on TARA. And we can also clear our lower ECAM, and doesn't look like LNAV is yet available. I think that's because of the route that we have set up, but that's okay because we're going to be doing heading mode, so I'll actually turn that on now so that we don't forget. And we're going to want to use as much of this runway as possible, so I'm going to try and get it kind of tight on the turn so we don't use up too much runway here. There we go, let's overshoot. And then sharp left. Alright, and not too bad. A little bit over. And we'll go ahead and just try and line up to 231. There we go. Sweet. So we should be good. So again, no issue with our takeoff config. I think we are about ready to go. Let's go ahead and set our timer. Throttle to 40%. And go to Togo. Keeping a little bit of forward pressure here as we accelerate. And so we're going to hope that our takeoff performance is sufficient. It's going to be a little bit of a tight one, but I think we're going to be okay based on what I'm seeing here. Keep ourselves pointing in the right direction. Rotate. Here comes our rotate, and we have plenty of runway. Cool.
Positive rate.
Pull our gear up. Get ourselves on the flight directors. Keep a little bit of a left turn there. Alright. Let's just point ourselves down. We can go ahead and accelerate. And I'm actually going to give ourselves a heading to intercept our course. So we'll go ahead and start a turn while we accelerate. Looks like we are now in some cloud based on the fact the strobe is going nuts. So I'll go ahead and put our engine anti-ice on, and I'm actually just going to flip that to steady so we don't blind ourselves. Alright, and try not to descend, so there's a good thing when you've taken off. And we'll go flaps up here. Yeah, looks like we're out of the clouds again, so I'm going to put that back on strobe steady. Cool. Alright, so you can see we got a little bit distracted there, but nothing that was a problem. Go ahead and engage our autopilot, got our VNAV, heading, and N1 set. And I'm just going to go direct to shoals, so I can whack on the LNAV. Sweet. So we're above 400. We can also do our post-takeoff checklist, landing gear. We'll put these back to auto. And let's see, I think that's about everything. Oh, auto brake. Got to turn that off there as well. So a nice starry night here in the north. So I just got a notification in my ear that my headphone battery is low, so I'm hoping we can make it to Minneapolis before that happens, else we'll be flying without any auditory feedback from me. I think you guys will still be able to hear it, but It's the trouble when you use these Bluetooth earbuds, they tend to die. So it's just something we have to deal with. Cool, so climbing nicely. A little outside look, not much to see really. What we can see looks good. And a little bit of terrain in front of us, but nothing in the way. Cool. So while we're climbing, since this is going to be such a short flight, we could start to take a look at some of our approach information. So the Brainerd approach is an RNAV approach into Minneapolis, and we're coming from this Shoals point, which officially you're meant to be at 20,000 or higher. We'll just ignore that. And then at Brainerd, you need to be between 15 and 19,000 and 280 knots, which I think should be set here. 15 to 19, 280. And then from there, you're just kind of working your way down until you get a little bit further, and there's a second page to tell you kind of the other steps. So we're landing on runway 12 left. So from Sauger, we're going to go to Ogilvy, which you can see here, above 8,000, and then to Kaikui, and then you will get some vectors to your final approach course. So we'll expect that after Kaikui, and we'll kind of route ourselves in. So above 10,000, we can put our landing lights on, or off, sorry, and make sure our pressurization is also good, which it looks like it is. So that's good. Got our packs on, got our bleeds on, all that good stuff. And then we also probably want to do a quick recall on the warnings. Nothing seems to be an issue there. Whoops. All right. So yeah, that is going to be our approach. Pretty easy, and then we'll be hitting the ILS for runway 12 left, which again shouldn't be too hard. They actually give you some waypoints. There's a waypoint called Shut. It looks like they like folks to use, which I might actually throw in here. Why not? SH, is it UUT or UTT? SHUUT. And I'll also turn off or put our seatbelt sign in auto so that folks can move about, even though it's a pretty short flight. So Kaikui, Shoot, and then Hamel. That looks good. I'll just give us a little bit more of an official kind of transition onto the initial fix for the ILS. So a couple of other things for the ILS. We need to tune our frequency, so 110.7. So we'll throw that in our nav boxes.
1,000 to go.
110.7. And our course is going to be 121, so we'll throw that in. See, we're already crossing shoals in our top of climb here. And I already forgot the frequency, 121 for the course. 121 and 121. So that should be all we really need for the ILS. As far as minimums, I think we can go down to 1,041. So I could actually set that to in our barometric minimum. So 1,041. Oops. There we go. All right, so we're at 15,000 and accelerating nicely. We can also turn our engine anti-ice off, seeing as we are not in cloud currently. Let's also get our ATIS. So it's going to be 135.35.
Brainerd Lakes RGNL weather. Wind 190 at 5. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions
there we go, 135.35. See if we can pick that up. Not yet. Probably a little far out still. Let's try 120.8. I might just tune that up in case this one doesn't work. 120.8. Let's just listen and see if we get that. Nope. But we'll leave that for now. Should be fine. We can actually cheat. And also, let's see if I can get this to work. I saw this in a video. If I go to ACARS, I can actually request the ATIS at the airport. And it will return the latest ATIS information. Hopefully. going to not work now that I've done this in front of everyone. There we go. Cool. So overcast 4,700 feet, altimeter 3007. It's a little bit of a different ATIS there to what we had before. So coming up on Brainerd, and then it looks like our top of descent will be here, and we'll be going down to 11,000 as our initial descent altitude. So I'll set that now so we don't forget. Get our seatbelt sign back on. And we will head down into lovely Minneapolis. The temperature in Minneapolis was -12. So, you can already see us decelerating here to 250 knots in anticipation of our descent. So you have to let me know in the comments if you like daytime streams or nighttime streams in terms of the weather and environment. I think I like both. They each have different sort of pros and cons, I suppose, but flying at night is kind of fun, especially because this is real time and real weather to what it's outside right now. I am based here in Minneapolis, so I live with a bit of a view of the airport, which is cool, so I can kind of see where the planes are coming in. Cool, so if we go back to our menu and look at our progress, got about 15 minutes till we will be on the ground. And top of descent being the next thing to happen. So yeah, the Brainerd approach is a nice kind of easy one. Nothing too crazy, just a lot of waypoints and altitudes, which we'll keep an eye on. We could also look at our landing. So it looks like landing is going to be 139 for our flap setting. If we do flaps 40, see how we feel.
Minneapolis St. Paul INTL information Quebec. 100 Zulu weather.
All right.
Wind 170 at 5, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 3,900 overcast, temperature -11, dew point -16. Altimeter 3007.
Cool.
Arriving runways 12 left, 12 right, departing runways 12 left, 12 right.
Frequency
Advise on initial
was working. Well, that broadcast was on both frequencies. That's why we had that happening. Alright, so let's go to our legs. So after Lucy, the next restriction will be 8,000. So I can go ahead and put that in now. I'm crossing Lucy now for Sauger. I think we'll have a bit of a kind of a dog leg into Minneapolis, as you can see there. It's a nice easy flight. So we are now in our descent. We can do our descent checks. So engine start switches can come to continuous. We can also put our fasten seatbelt sign on, which we, I believe, have already done. And then as we go through 10,000 feet, we'll put our landing light on as well. As far as approach, got our altimeter setting already. Our altitude we will keep bringing down. Got our ILS set and our minimums. We'll get our flaps and speed brake going. I can actually throw my speed brake in to the armed mode. And then again, taxi light or landing light coming on in a little bit. Cool. So we've got some traffic off our right hand side. Looks about 5 miles away. I don't know if I see him anywhere. Oh well. So descent is slowing just slightly. Let's get our drag in. I think we're speeding up a little bit too much, so the plane was pitching up so that it didn't bust the speed as we went through 10,000 feet. Should see that coming now as we keep our descent coming down. And there's 10,000 feet. Let's put our landing lights on. Got our taxi light on already. Also turn our turn-off lights on. Cool. So Ogilvy coming up, and then Kaikui, which they want you at 7,000 feet for. Looks like we might bust that slightly. Let's see what we're looking like. It's Kaikui at 7,000, yeah, and 210. We'll see how the descent profile works here. I think it's actually going to be fine because you can see it's throwing us a little bit sharper in the descent. We'll just kind of see and monitor that. There'll be a decel point right before that will probably affect our rate of descent too. Cool, so it's still coming down. Looks like there will be some cloud coming up here to be ready for. And then yeah, after Kaikui, it's going to be Shoot and Hamel. You can't actually see on this page because those are the first steps of the ILS. I think. Kaikui. Yep, and then Shoot and Hamel. So Shoot and Hamel, they want you at 4,000 or above. For some reason it puts 4,000 below in here. I'm not sure why that is. So just starting to do some funky stuff here with our altitude. I'm not sure what's going on. Throttling up and then down.
1,000 to go.
There we go. Looks like it's sorting itself out as we come through 7,000 feet. Sweet. So you see that descent graph is putting us right at 7,000 at Kaikui, which is perfect. And then from there we will head to Hamel, which will be about 4,000 feet. That'll be the first waypoint on our approach. So I can see some clouds coming up. I'm going to go ahead and throw on our engine anti-ice. Not going to worry about wing anti-ice because it's not really modeled. You normally look on the wing mirror or the windshield. You see we've got some vertical guidance coming in already for the Minneapolis ILS there, which is good to see. So we're kind of on the money here. So I'm actually just going to keep this coming down to 4,000. And I might need to hit the altitude intervention button to get that to happen. Is it gonna descend for me? You know you wanna. There we go. Now we're going down. I think I wanted to cross that waypoint first. Sweet, so we're actually just staying just a smidge below the ILS vertical guidance, which is fine by me. We could go all the way down to 4,000 now, which I believe was the restriction at Hamel. Look on here, we can see, yep, Hamel 4,000 or above, and then Washi is 3,000 or above. So here's that Shoot waypoint that we added to help us with our descent. Looks like everything's kind of behaving nicely. We're right on profile. So it's going to be a nice quick approach into Minneapolis in what looks to be a pretty cloudy evening. should pop out of these clouds around. I think it said 4,700 AGL, and we're about 800 feet above here, so that should mean we're coming around there. Not sure what just happened there. I just saw the airspeed jump up like 30 knots for some reason. I wonder if that was the weather updating. It sometimes seems to happen at most inopportune moments. Cool, but still coming down. Gonna put us right on path. So again, Hamel is that first fix on the ILS. So got our strobe here in the clouds. Looks super crazy, but I think we're gonna pop out shortly, so I'm not even gonna bother worrying about that. There we go. So you actually see Minneapolis International Airport right off the nose, and there's downtown Minneapolis in the distance. There it is, flying by. This Twin Stadium, Target Center, all that good stuff. It looks a little cooler in the daytime, I
1,000
think.
to go.
At least in X-plane. Cool, so we are right on target. Got our drag here, which helped us slow down there. I'm going to set our auto brake to 2. And we should get a turn here that's going to put us right on the approach. I'm actually going to arm the approach now. And we should see that take over. There it goes. It's a really nice waypoint for lining up for the ILS. So I'll start putting some flaps in here as we slow down, as we are now on about a 10-mile final. We'll probably put our gear down, I would imagine. I'll go flaps 1. And again, we're looking for a speed of 138 on final. So I'll go and set that here, plug down. It's giving us a little warning there about being too slow. So maybe we'll do a flap. Let's just do a flaps 30 landing. That's fine. We can put some flaps in here to help with that speed concern. All right. So we are looking good. Nice dark night here. Nice view of the city there. Okay, flaps 10. We'll go flaps, let's see, flaps 15. And we'll go, I should probably actually put our flapping speed in here, which is going to be this one. Throw that in so it's happier. Alright. Cool. 145, and then we can go flaps 25 and flaps 30. And I'm gonna just dim down some of these lights a little bit so we don't have quite as much going on. Let's turn our dome light off as well. Makes it a little easier to see out the window. Sweet, so looking good, about a short final now. So gears down, flaps are good, engine start switches are good. We can also make sure we actually put got our turn off lights on already. And I think that's about all we need to do. Speed brake is armed.
1,000.
See the airport beacon there.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
We got runway, it's 12 right and 12 left here, and then runway 17 is here on the right, and then there's runway 4 as well, I think, which is kind of cutting through the middle of the airport. So I'll disconnect at, I don't know, what should we do, 600? Let's give it a go, see if I have the chops today. I'll do 700, why not? So we are now hand flying. I'm letting the autopilot do the power though. Power setting is always a little tricky, so control disconnect that as we get a little closer here.
500.
Alright, so auto throttle is off, auto pilot is off.
400.
Just a little high, a little slow, but we're not looking too bad here. Let's keep it coming down. Somehow blew way above our altitude. There we go. Now it's coming back in. But I'm kind of on a visual here. I can see my poppies, so I'm not too worried. A little bit of a wind blowing us from the right. I continue the approach here.
100.
Won't let that bother us. That little
50.
annoyance.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Alright, close the throttles. Hold her off. Nice. That did not feel like a 219 foot per minute landing, but I guess it was. Felt better than that, but that's okay. We'll take it. But we will close that so you don't have to keep looking at it. And we're gonna cut through here. Alright, we have made it to Minneapolis, guys. We'll go and park up on one of these stands here. Hope you enjoyed that relatively quick flight. I just thought it'd be fun to do because it kind of covered all the major stages of a flight. So it just seemed kind of like a fun thing to do on a Sunday evening. Alright, where are we parking? We're going on this gate here, I think. Charlie 23. Trying to work our way on. Got our little guy out there in the freezing cold. Yeah, there we go. Working our way in, and can't see you anymore. There we go. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Oh, come on. Should cross them. There we go. Alright. So we can go and just set our parking brake there. And we'll go through our, we don't need to worry about the APU today because we're going to have ground power as soon as we do our seatbelts. Put our anti-collision light off, and let's go ahead and we'll just connect our GPU for now. Put our ground power on. Go ahead and pull our engines off. Sweet. And that's about all I'm gonna worry about for this shutdown procedure. Could do that to standby, could turn our fuel pumps off if we wanted to, turn off our electrical hydraulic pumps, and I think we'll leave it at that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this flight into a chilly Minneapolis-St. Paul. It's been a fun flight. So leave a comment below if you have questions. I'm always happy to answer them. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.